Hello? Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. Hello, hello. How are we, good people? It's good to see you. Or hear you. Oh, no, it's just good to be talking to you. You know, all that. Here. Well, what we've got today, he says, is an important message from the Gay Men's Network, which, as you know, is one of their public-faced individuals. I do some of their educational stuff, or I did when they set up their website. What we got is Dennis of the Kavanagh, good old Dennis, who works in the legally beagle field, right? So he's a legally beagle, right? That's our Dennis, okay? So we've got this new iteration of the conversion therapy bill. I mean, it's just, you think, oh, let's not talk about this anymore, because I just want to, there we go. You could doze. There must be people in the House of Lords going, not again. The gay conversion therapy bill, which many of you will know is in fact just the exact opposite. It's actually transing the gay away, because gay conversion therapy doesn't happen in this country. It's remarkably rare. And it's not like it was years ago. I rewatched American Asylum, horror story. Does anybody remember that? American Horror Story. American Horror Story Asylum. I watched that again recently, and there's the bit in there where Lana Banana is tied to a chair and is shown various pictorials of the women's in positions of lasciviousness, bending over, you know, the sort of hint of muff. And she sat there in the chair because she's lesbian, and they're going to try and get rid of her lesbianism. And so they do all sorts of horrible things to her, including injecting her with a drug. Every time they show her a picture of a woman in repose, they stick the drug in her and she vomits in a bucket, and then they bring a bloke in and encourage her to touch his member. It's all very sick and very twisted. But that's what gay conversion therapy used to be like years ago. I was alive when they were doing it, mind. So was Dennis, I imagine. Because he's old, isn't he? Our Dennis? Dennis, are you old? So we've got the Gay Men's Network have provided us with a nice breakdown on Twitter. Links are in the doobras as usual. Got the sniffs again this morning. It's a bit cold. The Gay Men's Network parliamentary briefing on the Commons Private Members Bill, I think, on conversion practices is now available. While the draft bill makes serious and genuine efforts to engage with concerns, fundamental problems remain with human rights and unintended consequences. Chesterton's fence. We share the concerns of the Secretary of State for Women and Equalities, Neil Hanvey MP, Joanna Cherry, KC MP, and many others from all parties across the House that conversion bans chill clinical practice in gender medicine where homosexuals are overrepresented. Bear in mind, this is a document from the Gay Men's Network. So that's going to be their primary concern, isn't it? There's then a nice little a nice page that will explain to you all about what the process was or process is of responding to this, and as the Gay Men's Network have done. We've made the case before, says the Gay Men's Network, that conversion bans fuel the very problem they try to solve. No one wins where doctors can't ask legitimate questions or explore often complex presentations. Criminal law cannot be the right answer to a clinical problem. And then there's a link to what they've said before. What they're talking about here is the sort of idea that gender identity is real. So that's what the problem with the bill is to begin with. It's got gender identity in it, which isn't real. And the fact that then it would stop therapists from going, yeah, it's not real, mate. Or even, let's talk about it. Tell me about your childhood, which is what therapy is supposed to be about, the talking therapist, you know? So it would stop therapists with a chilling effect, let alone what it would mean for parents and religion. So a number of things hidden there in that. While the draft bill makes genuine efforts to deal with these issues, we take the view that the problems are of fundamental nature. And I think Dennis is right here, and the Gay Men's Network, in saying that this is a fundamental problem, meaning it's so flawed, I think it's impossible to pass. While the draft bill makes genuine efforts, it does unfortunately enshrine identity in criminal law, which is a vague and ideological term, you know that I've previously said and will continue to say that identity is absolutely immaterial. All we know of an individual is their personality, and that really is only something that they can use to develop a character. You can't know much else about anybody, and if they've got an identity, it will be something that is decided by other people, not by them. My identity could be, for example, for some people, important player in the Cog of GC, or it might be a bloviating windbag of epic proportions, or both. I look at people, and it's not so much about their identity as it is about their reputation, isn't it? Identity is utterly immaterial. It's a ridiculous concept. I don't know where it's come from. Well, I do. It's America. Let's blame the Americans. Oh, say, yeah. So they enshrine identity, which is too vague. Criminalising suppression can make criminals a family or therapist, says the Gay Men's Network, and quite rightly so, because that's exactly what it does do. We are particularly concerned that fundamental human rights are affected. It is not clear that this bill would create a criminal offence where a fair trial is possible, affecting Article 6, or one that adequately protects freedom of conscience or expression, which affects Articles 9 and 10 of the Human Rights Act, you see. So it's in direct conflict with some basic principles of human rights here, is what's being said by the Gay Men's Network. Very important. Conversion practices related to sexual orientation are thankfully extremely rare in Britain today. But it would be tragic if the memory of such atrocities were used to justify legislation that prevents doctors and therapists helping distressed young people. The detailed legal analysis behind this bill is available here, they say, with a link to Dennis's website, so you can go and have a look. It's only 6 pages. Go and have a read, see what they've had to say. Bear in mind it's in legalese. It's in it's in really very much in the argot of the legal, but a very pin-sharp analysis of how this might affect people and how it interacts with other areas of law. Like many across the House, from all parties, we remain alarmed at clinicians at the Tavistock commenting that ideological treatment pathways amounted to conversion therapy for gay kids, which is what I think it is. It is conversion therapy by the back door being voted into law because gender identity doesn't exist. Trans is a nonsense. And the vast majority of them will grow up to be gay. So, yeah, what's this even for? Why does it keep coming back? It's like Bill of the Dead. But it keeps rising from the dead, you know? Oh. It's like every time they kill Dracula in it, and somebody passes by and just goes, you know, it's a drop of blood, up you get. Ooh, I'm back. Usually by going like, I think he goes like that, doesn't he, Dracula, when he gets up, when he's, ooh, spooky. Same thing, this is it's a vampire bill. I'm back. People have begun to comment, so I'll put the Twitter in, the link in for the Twitter, so you can copy it as well. But here's the top one from Mario Presents Official. Effeminate boys aren't girls, and by affirming or guiding their development into extreme body modifications, you're effectively participating in conversion therapy. Are you so ashamed of a swishy boy? I love that word, a swishy boy, that you'd prefer to have a daughter. That's what they think. See, that's what you're feeding extreme homophobia in our society through this bill. But do go and have a look. They've done the work, as always, and it's great to see that. So do please go take a look. And I'll see you later. Come and be a warrior teacher, buy me a coffee, the usual stuff. But go and have a look at Dennis's tweet. I'll see you at Gay Men's Network's tweet, not Dennis's. I'll see you later.